Hello, hello, hello. It's Toria Howard, the real estate educator, here to educate you. Back once again. Happy new week to everyone. Glad to see you here. And yeah, here to give you some more information. I know information sounds kind of drab, but it's more or less, I'm giving you a level up, honey. So make sure that you tune in twice a week. I do this every Monday and Thursday. So make sure you put your notification bells on so that you can know when I drop a new video, because I'm here to give you this game so that you can go out there and buy those keys and get right to it. Okay, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with someone you feel needs this information. And I'm so passionate about financial literacy because I know what it feels like when you don't have it. I fumbled a almost $200,000 bag because I bought right, but I didn't have a strategic plan on once I got into my home. So I'm here to show first-time home buyers, uh, homeowners, investors on how to buy smart, how to use their home to build leverage, and to make sure that you are doing the best that you can to have the best exit strategy and the money strategy that you need. So today, we're talking about how to buy a home without feeling broke after closing. I know a lot of people feel like, oh my God, it's so much to do, because it is. So you have to have a financial plan, a strategic plan that will get you through those tough times after closing, because you know you already have it. If you having your own down payment, if you're using down payment assistance, you know during the buying process you have to pay for your inspection, your appraisal. You might have to bring some money to the closing table a little bit. If you have a right, hopefully you pick the right lender who is making sure that you have to bring as less as possible to the closing table. And even if you are bringing a lot to the closing table, there's still some things that you will have to do afterwards. So why do so many buyers feel financially tight 3 months after closing? It's not the house, it's positioning. You have to make sure that you're positioning yourself correctly when you're purchasing these homes up front. So a lot of people forget the math. So we have approval math versus lifestyle math. So your approval math is your debt to income ratio, your credit, and your income, right? That's all that's considered as a factor, because your debt shows how responsible you are with paying your bills. Your credit shows how you have maintained good credit, paying your bills on time. And then your income shows that, you have some stability. That's all lenders are looking for. But the lifestyle math still includes groceries, utility, gas, maintenance, unexpected costs, especially if you have children. Children always tend to find a way to give you unexpected costs. So you need to make sure that you're buffering for that. Um, and you have a system in place. So if your lifestyle already feels tight, adding a mortgage won't fix it. So you have to make sure you're fixing these things beforehand. So I always have my clients make sure they have a buffer system, right? So meaning that you have some cushion, some in between space, some things that you can do in order for you to be able to be on top. And I tell my daughter this too, like, you got to get ahead of the game instead of trying to catch up. So there are 3 levels of buffers. You have 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and then you can add a fourth one with 12. But we're going to start with 1, 2, 1, 3, and 6, because those are kind of easier to maintain and kind of get a little bit quicker, especially during this tax season. If you're still getting tax returns, you need to make sure that you are using that money wisely and not using it on a lot of frivolous things that typically we usually spend it on. So you want to make sure that you're buffering for job instability, commission income, single income household. You just never know, something could happen. Making sure that you have those things in place, life insurances, you know, and when you get in your mortgage and things of that nature, you want to add in mortgage insurance just in case, God forbid, you lose an income unexpectedly. You need to have that life insurance plus mortgage insurance. It will help you pay your mortgage. Even if, something happens to, you who's going to be on the home, you want to make sure that you have those type of things in place. So your buffer should reflect risk level. You want to buffer for risk. And as a adult, a lot of times we don't look at our lives as a pyramid, right? We don't look at our lives as a corporation. Corporations, good corporations that have been lasting, always have some type of buffer in place. They have some type of cushion. They're doing things to make sure that their company is running efficiently, even if things unexpectedly happens. You should be running yourself in the same manner in that pyramid. Who's at the top, whoever that is, to that foundation, baby. You should always have that. So another way that you can combat this situation is buying below your ceiling. You know, a lot of times people want to outspend, I know what it is. We go on the Zillows and we go on the realtors.coms and we looking at the homes and we get our pre-approval. And guess what? You can afford that nice, newly built, brand new house and it's top of your budget. Even if you are able, you should never buy at the top of your budget on anything. You always want to leave yourself some cushion. So if you are in a sense of, if you would qualify for 500,000, let's say that, right? But you know that your mortgage is going to be closer to $4,000. And if you're not paying $4,000 now, are you going to be able to do that once you have your mortgage? And that's just the principal interest, taxes, and insurance. That's not even your utilities, groceries, gas, unexpected life stuff, maintenance. So you want to make sure, if you say, for instance, if you are qualified for 500,000, I would shoot for between 350 to 4. And just make sure that home has what you need and then you can add the wants later. That's what a home is for. You can transform it the way you want it. Use your equity to transform the way you want it. So for instance, let's go, if you qualify for 150,000, right? And that's the top. Now in Detroit, I'm speaking of numbers in the Midwest because a lot of homes you can still buy good homes at this price in good up and coming neighborhoods. I would buy at between 120 and 130. But if the 150 is comfortable, like if you're at 150, typically your mortgage is probably going to be between, depending on your interest rate, between 12 to 13, 1400. But you also got to factor in groceries, gas, utilities, maintenance, home warranty, other bills that you have to pay. So you need to make sure that you understand your lifestyle. If you want to go on vacations, that's why I have my clients in my ebook. They use my ebook, Journey to Your Castle. I have them do a budget that's definitely more detailed than any other budget. It's not just what's coming in. It's not just your home costs and your car and your grocery. I mean, it's every single thing from your hair, haircuts, hairstyles, nails, Uber Eats and Door Dashes, going out to restaurants, going on vacations, paying for child care, paying for child activities. Those things cost. Like if you have a child in dance, that's a monthly cost. If you have them in gymnastics, monthly cost. Soccer, monthly cost, most likely. Doing some type of sports training, monthly costs. Tutoring, sometimes not at the school, costs. So you need to make sure that you're factoring in all of these things because you don't want to be house poor and can't take care of your family properly. The whole point is to build generational wealth, not tack on another generational curse by not being able to think rationally, have a strategic plan, and your money is flowing the way that it needs to. Because you want to have money to be able to invest in other things. Of course, you can use your equity to do so. You can, take your equity. So what equity is, if you don't know what equity is basically what you owe versus how much your home is worth. So for instance, if you uh, have let's say $100,000 left on your mortgage, but your home is worth 200,000. You have $100,000 worth of equity in between there that you can use to help improve your home, invest in something that's going to make you more money. You can invest in another house. You can help it. You can invest in your education, anything that's going to bring you some type of return on your investment, some type of ROI. That's what you want to use your equity for. So you want to make sure that you're doing these things in a sense that's building the generational knowledge and not continuing and adding on to generational curses. So making sure that you are below your ceiling is a psychological relief. You don't want to be stressed because you bought a home. You don't want to be stressed and don't even like coming home and you every time the mortgage come around you get sick. You can't pay your light bill because DTE tax you. I don't know where else you are from, but DTE, especially in the wintertime, taxes. So you need to make sure that you are factoring these in, knowing your numbers, practicing that number before you move, knowing exactly what you can afford and what's comfortable for you because you want to have those savings. You're not just your maintenance fund, but you want to go on vacation. You still want to, maybe hang out a little bit. You want to buy clothes. You want to do those things. So make sure that you have a plan. So if you can breathe after closing, you bought smart. If you feel like you about to drown, you bought wrong. So I leave you to say this. Having a strategic money plan is going to make sure that these keys don't cost you your life. So comment plan and subscribe to this channel. Like I said, I do this twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays. Put it on your notification bells and let's map out your pathway to keys. My link will be in the description section so that you can go ahead and book your session so that we can have a conversation about how you can turn your keys into an asset and not a lot of liability. So also I have two ebooks, one called Journey to Your Castle, where you can, as a first-time home buyer, you can go from concept to mindset because your mindset has to change, goal setting all the way to the closing table. And then I have one for homeowners called House Rich and Money Smart, how to turn your home into a wealth building powerhouse, showing homeowners how to turn their home from a liability to an asset. Because we are building assets in 2026 and beyond. Because if you don't, it's gonna be poor and rich, baby. It's gonna be hard out here for us. So we gotta make sure we're putting in a strategic plan. My two ebooks does that for you. And Keys to Your Castle is coming soon. Watch out for that pre-order and order your book because it combines both of those together. And it is a magnificent way for you to go into 2026 as a powerful, individual, knowing what you want to do and how you're going to do it with a strategy. So have an amazing day. And until next time, tune in, subscribe, like, comment, turn on the notification bell. Have an amazing day.